Okay guys, so today's lesson is converting easy fractions to decimals and percents. So it's taking what you learned yesterday in the video about with watching how fractions, decimals, and percents are related. And now we're going to talk about how to convert them. And we're going to be working with easy fractions, decimals, and percentages today, ones that you probably already have worked with in the past. So just to kind of review the objective for today is you're going to name shaded parts of a 10 by 10 grid as a fraction, a decimal, and a percentage. So to go over what you kind of learned yesterday in the video is all fractions, decimals, and percentages are related. And when we're looking at converting it to a decimal, if we look at this fraction, it's 36 over 100. So it's 36 hundredths. Okay, so if you remember your place value when we're talking about decimal places, 36 hundredths is written with the decimal point and then 36 after it, because the 6 is going to be in your hundredths place. Also, 36 over 100, when we're working with percent, 100 means is the equivalent of what percent means. Percent means per 100. So 36 over 100 is going to be equal to 36%. Let's do another one. So 87 over 100. All right. So if we know that 36 over 100 is equal to 36%, 87 over 100 is equal to 87%. And 87 over 100 written in decimal form is 87 hundredths. Okay, making sure that your 7 is in the hundredths place. Remember, this is the 8 is the tenths place and the 7 is the hundredths place. Another one is 19 over 100. So in the decimal form would be written as 19 hundredths, and in the percent form would be written as 19%, because the 19 is over the 100. It's 19 per 100. Alright, so we're going to review some basic fractions as percentages and decimals. So a half, obviously, that is related to or equal to 50%, because if you get half of the credit, you get 50% credit, which is also equal to 0.5 tenths or 50 hundredths. 1/4 would be, if you're thinking money, this is an easy way for you to remember it. A quarter of $1 is 25, so 1/4 is related to 25%, and 25% is 0.25 or 25 hundredths. 1/10 would actually, an equivalent fraction, so if we're talking equivalent fractions, 1/10, if we don't need to make that equivalent to something over 100, 10 times 10 is going to get me to 100, so I'm going to times that 1 by 10, which would be 10 over 100. Okay, so 10 over 100 is going to be equal to 10%, and 10% is equal to 0.10 or 10, 1/10. All right. So today you're going to be working with percent of number stories, and you're going to get a problem that looks very similar to this. We're going to be working with a 20 problem test, and we're going to figure out what percentage, what fraction, and how many problems they got correct, or how many problems they got wrong, depending on what it's asking us to solve. So first we're going to look at Alfred, and on the 20 problem test, Alfred missed half of the problems. So he missed 5 tenths or 50 hundredths of the problem, which is also 50% of the problem. Okay, so what would half of 20 be? Half of 20 is going to be 10. So 50% of 20 is 10. So how many problems did he miss? He missed 10 problems. Nadine missed a quarter of the problems, or 1/4 of the problems. She missed 0.25 or 25 hundredths of the problems. That is 25% of the problems. How many problems did she miss? So I want you to think of what is a quarter of 20. If we broke 20 into 4 groups, there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. There would be 5 in each group. Okay, so if she missed a quarter of 20, she's going to miss 5 problems. So a quarter of 20, or 1/4 of 20, is 5, and 25% of 20 is 5. It seems kind of redundant, meaning like we're repeating ourselves over and over, but it's just kind of getting to you to realize that 1/4 and 25% and 0.25 or 25 hundredths is all the same number. Alright, so we're going to do a few of these together, and then you'll have some practice on your own with the Google form. So we're going to talk about ways of showing the fraction of what is shaded in, and what the fraction would be, what the fraction over 100 would be, and then finding the decimal and the percentage. Okay, so you can kind of see that for number 2, so I'm focusing on number 2, they have it broken into fifths. So this shaded area is a fifth, and this shaded area is a fifth. So there are 2 fifths shaded in. So I would put my 2 over the 5 because 2 fifths is shaded in. We need to figure out how could we go from 5 to 100. Well, we could go from 5 to 100 by timesing it by 20, or we could count in if we wanted to. So we know that in each one of these rows is 10. So I have 10, 20, 30, 40 shaded in. So 40 over 100, which means that my percentage that is shaded in is 40%, and my decimal shaded in is 40 hundredths. I'm sorry, my handwriting, it's really hard to write that tiny. Okay, let's do one more together, and then you're going to have some practice problems on your own so that you can go over this. So this is broken into fifths again, and I can see that, I'm looking at number 3 here. Number 3 is broken into fifths again. I can see that 1/5, 2/5, 3/5 are shaded in. Okay, and so I know that 3/5 are shaded. That means that I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 over 100. So 60 of my hundredths are shaded in, which means that that is 60 hundredths, or 60%. Alright, you've now completed today's lesson. There is some practice for you on a Google form. Go ahead and complete that as well. If you are confused by this, we will go over it when you come to my station.